Good afternoon and welcome to our virtual space for Sagicor's Emancipation Day virtual concert. I'm your host, Colin Graves, and I'm pleased to be your guide as we celebrate emancipation in the Caribbean, as well as the strong cultural legacy left behind by our ancestors. This concert gives us the opportunity not only to recognize the incomparable challenges faced by our ancestors brought to the Caribbean, but to celebrate and applaud the rich culture they bestowed onto us. Throughout today's concert, be sure to use the hashtag Sagicor Emancipation Day when commenting or sharing this video on social media. I'd like to get our afternoon's proceedings started with a welcome from Mr. Ravi Rambaran, President and CEO of Sagicor Life Inc.
Sagicor joins in celebrating Emancipation Day throughout the Caribbean. This is the day that marks the termination of a brutally deculturalizing, brutally dehumanizing, and brutally devastating period in the lives of our African ancestors. Freed of a system that made mere chattel of precious human lives, our African ancestors displayed tremendous resilience, fortitude, and innovation in carving out a life for themselves in this space that we call home. Despite this painful past, they were able to set the foundation and forge a path for the creation of the Caribbean community as we know it today. A Caribbean community marked by diversity of cultures, a Caribbean community marked by the keenness of minds, and a Caribbean community marked by an effervescence of spirit. This African heritage is present in our daily lives, in religion, in literature, music, fashion, dance, food, and language, and adds to the richness of the multiculturalism of our homes, this Caribbean space. And so Sagicor today honors those who fought and those who continue to fight for the improvement of the lives of African people in our Caribbean space, our homes. Greeting to all on the celebration of Emancipation Day.
Thank you, Mr. Rambaran. The Caribbean has a rich history with still so much to be discovered and learned about those who walked these islands before us. Let's now turn our attention to our first segment to discover what emancipation means to the islands of the Eastern Caribbean and Belize.
As we look to the efforts of the enslaved population and the free coloreds in the Eastern Caribbean, and of course on a larger scale in the British West Indies, we must appreciate the efforts of persons in the Eastern Caribbean to allow us to celebrate emancipation. In 1794, you had a mulatto woman who was a freedom fighter. Her name was Flore Bois de Gaillard, and she as well, similar to what Nanny would have did in Jamaica, right? She led troops against the British who attempted to reintroduce enslavement on the island of St. Lucia. We must also look at Grenada and the work of Julian Fedon, who was a free color of French extraction, who also led a number of enslaved persons and free colors in a rebellion on a plantation in Grenville, on the northern eastern part of Grenada.
The journey to get to the Caribbean was difficult in ways we cannot truly imagine. We continue to be grateful for those who managed to hold on to their heritage so that we can honor them today. Let's experience some of that rich culture through performances by the St. Lucia Dance Group, Michelle Henderson from Dominica singing the CARICOM song, and the La Gracia Dance Company from St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
plans. Our forefathers came, some seeking adventure, some bound in chains. Through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain, by test of their courage, our freedom was gained. And homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun. We vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrate in song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum for CARICOM. Though great and diverse be our ethnicities, the bonds that unite us are stronger than these. We dine, we pray, we love, we dance and we play, we relate to each other the West Indian way. Today as a people united, determined and steadfast we stand. We look to a brand new horizon, the future now firmly in our hands. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrate in song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum for CARICOM. Woo! Hele, hele, bravo, when you sing CARICOM. Leve, leve, wow, knock your jump CARICOM. Tambo, yes, tambo, oh, when you sing CARICOM. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrate in song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum for CARICOM. Hele, hele, bravo, when you sing CARICOM. Leve, leve, wow, hele, hele, tabu, ya tabu, wow, knock your drum CARICOM.
Singare
excellent dance pieces by our brothers and sisters in the Eastern Caribbean. Special thanks to the Cultural Development Foundation and St. Lucia Tourism Authority and Calvert Jones of St. Vincent. Be sure to leave your comments below this video and let us know what you think. We now move southeast to learn more about what emancipation means in Barbados and how they overcame adversity to emerge the great island they are today.
Barbados was one of the oldest slave colonies of Britain and has had a long history of sugar and slavery. Eventually, Britain decides that it no longer wants to have slavery, and there was an Act of Abolition of 1833 which decided to end slavery on August 1st, 1834 for the colonies of the British Empire. With this act, there was a decision that there would be compensation of £20 million and the apprenticeship system to be instituted. And this system said that you would have 4 years for non-predial slaves, those who were domestics and skilled, and 6 years of labor for those who were field slaves. Barbados had about 83,150 slaves at the end of slavery, and the planters were paid a compensation of £1.7 million. Now, the period of apprenticeship was one that was fraught with failure and challenges because the planter class wanted to continue the status quo that was happening within slavery. As a result of this, apprenticeship failed throughout the West Indies, and in May 1838, the Barbados Parliament passed legislation stating that emancipation will come in 1838 for all.
Caribbean history is truly so diverse. These videos are testament to this, and I'm sure there were a couple of points you didn't know before. Our next performer is the lead singer of Crossfire and is a natural-born entertainer whose accolades and songwriting genius establish him as the undisputed soca king. Please enjoy Edwin Yearwood as he performs Something Greater.
Ja, ja, yeah. Oh, I'm a drifting stranger in the land of the not so free, where there's never care for a weary soul, in a reckless society, where a poor man can't have equality, or his offspring a bright tomorrow, and the fighting soul on the iron bones, leaving almost nowhere to go. But we must keep tumbling and fighting on, 'cause I've made my discoveries that we can't ever seem to realize. Man's his own greatest enemy. A lion is only a threat to man when man crosses on his domain. But a man will always be cruel to man, and that way will never be changed. So I must believe
that there's something greater than me.
To keep up the fight, I've just got to see
That there's something greater than me.
Take your head out of clothes and look till you see.
That there's something greater than me.
Jail me wrongfully and I'll still be free.
That there's something greater than
Whoa,
me.
ja ja,
Ja, ja,
calling,
ja, 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 ja.
calling,
Ja, ja,
ja ja, ja
ja.
Man still tries to separate his own brothers with class and creed. Upper class, middle class, and lower class, with the lower following lead. Separation shows like a sore thumb, and it spreads out rapid and fast. Man on dying bed needs a donor's blood. Does he request a certain class? No, but no. Who am I? Just a wanderer, passing judgment and kicking fuss. Because death is a crucial part of life, when man returns to nothing but dust. So I wipe my tears and stand to fears, smiling off that class and creed game. 'Cause when rich or poor, convert back to dust, that dust texture remains the same. So I must believe
that there's something greater than me.
to keep up the fight, I've just got to see
That there's something greater than me.
take your head off the clouds and look till you see.
Something greater than me.
And chill me wrongfully and I'll still be free.
There's something
Whoa,
greater
and
than
ja
me.
ja, ja 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 ja, oh, ja ja, oh, calling, oh ja 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 ja, yeah, yeah. Ooh. The mind's description of drug pushers make them out to look just like we. But can drugs slip in through a tight system without any authority? Those small fries like we distributing it and taking life without mercy. Take a nice trip to any system yard. Do we look like authority? Oh, religion's crying religions down, leaving you to feel so confused. False prophets counting the pulpit scared as religion is fully abused, while world leaders seemingly more concerned for their own good welfare and bliss, trying to hide the truth from a whole wide world. Racism no longer exists, but it does, so I must believe
something greater than me.
to keep up the fight. I've just got to see.
That there's something
Whoa.
greater than me.
Take your head out the clouds and look till you see.
That there's something greater than me.
Show me wrongfully and I'll be free.
That there's something greater than me.
Ja 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 ja. Whoa, whoa. Hey, you know I'm guilty of knowing the truth. No, no. Back to dust we all will go, 'cause all man is equal. Ja 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 ja, rich or poor, black or white. Back to dust, the same dust. Whoa, ja ja, oh ja 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 ja. Ja, ja, yeah. I'm a drifting stranger in the land of the not so free. Yeah.
What a great performance. Sending a reminder to use the hashtag Sagicor Emancipation Day when sharing on social media. We bring an end to this afternoon's journey by turning our attention to Trinidad and Tobago and the path to emancipation in this twin island state.
What does freedom really mean? Once the people got their freedom on August 1st, 1838, they were no longer apprentices, they were free people, and they dispersed as best as possible from the plantations to make themselves colonists. Some got into peasantry, and some others did other types of trade. Many people attempted to get education, which was scarce, right, to build capacity to become someone. And in time, we would see many of these people becoming part of the black middle class, or upwardly mobile black middle classes. So emancipation for us in Trinidad and Tobago and the West Indies as a whole is that moment when we leave the shackles of slavery and we attempt to live a life as any normal human being. In other words, live under civil and human rights, rights that we did not have before under the British. And in so doing, right, try to create what we have today as the black diaspora in Trinidad, as well as the black diaspora in Tobago, as well as the black diaspora in the Caribbean.
The Caribbean is indeed rich with history and vibrant with the legacy of our ancestors. It is through their survival and the survival of the aspects of their heritage that we are able to celebrate and hold dearly as part of our Caribbean identities. Here's an example of this legacy by the Wasafoli TNT Performing Company, who will entertain us with their authentic West African dance and drumming. today's show. May our ancestors continue to inspire us to aspire to greater heights. May how we live our lives today continue to honor their sacrifices and journey now and in the future. I want to say thank you to all of our performers and the Department of History from the University of the West Indies for their research and historical guidance. If you like this video and our Caribbean performers, click the like button and be sure to share this video with your friends and family. Comment below and let us know which performance got you moving, which performance you'll be replaying, and if you discovered anything new about emancipation and our rich Caribbean heritage. We want to hear from you and learn how we can keep bringing the content you enjoy. I am your host, Colin Graves, and on behalf of Sagicor, have a great afternoon and happy Emancipation Day.